Hi, greetings everyone. In this video, we will understand how to determine the baselines, scheduled and actual values for a given project. After, after your project plan is approved, it's important to save the target values like dates, work hours and cost in the baseline. Project also keeps track of the actual values you record and the current forecast of the schedule. Before you evaluate performance in the project, it's important to understand what baseline, scheduled and actual values represent. Well, the Gantt chart shown here doesn't show the baseline. So let's go to the tracking Gantt. On the view tab here, we have a Gantt chart option. Click on the bottom half and select the tracking Gantt. If you don't see the one, you can definitely go to the more views and try locating for the tracking Gantt. So here I have the one and say apply. I'm also going to apply the baseline table, so I'll click the tables button. And here I'll go to the more tables and select the baseline and say apply. Now in this view, you can see the baseline values and so can also see gray tasks bars for the baseline. The blue and the red taskbar represents the current forecast for the schedule. Another place to see all these values is in the task detail form. So I'll click on the details here. So here I'll select the task details form and then you will notice there are three options: the current, baselines and the actual. Well, in this case, current is the same as the scheduled values. I'm going to use identify additional costs to show the difference between these values. I'm also going to apply the summary table. Here I'll go to the format tab. It's already enabled. Go to the summary table here. Now scheduled values when you first start are the forecast for your project. Basically, it's the plan that you are developing. Then once the stakeholders approve your project, you want to save those scheduled values to your baselines. Basically, you take a snapshot of your forecast and turn it into your baseline. That's the target you are going to aim for the rest of the forecast. When you save a baseline, it saves the start and the finish dates, duration, work and the cost. Then you start recording the actual values once the project gets underway. So to see those, click the tables button and choose tracking. And now you can see some of the actual values for these tasks. Down in the task details here, you can see them by selecting the actual option. Once your project is underway, the scheduled values start to update based on the actual values you enter and your forecast for what remains. So for example, this task has an actual start date of 14/7/2014, and you can see that when I select the current option, the start date remains the same. So once you put in an actual start date, the scheduled start date equals that. Once the task is complete, like the estimate cost for the tenants, here you can see that the scheduled values are the same as the actual values. So in this case, the scheduled values start date is 18/8/2014 and it matches the actual start date, and the scheduled finish date is 22nd August, which also matches the actual finish date. Because the project keeps track of your baselines, actual and forecast, it is easy to keep an eye on whether the tasks are ahead of or behind the schedule, and whether the costs are within or exceeding the budget. I hope the concept is clear to you. Thank you.